Welcome one and welcome all. This is Amal Ray, and today we are playing Bomber Crew. Joined today by Neri
Hello.
and Nio.
Hey.
Alright, let's get started.
I don't know much about this game myself.
It's hard to explain it. The best way to describe it is micromanagement, the game. It's essentially a World War II, very cartoony, yet somewhat dark at times, bomber game, where you're a Lancaster bomber in World War II, and you've got your crew and everything, and you're going to bomb Germany. But things may not be quite as you remember. Let me explain.
Is there only 8 levels, or is that? The
Oh no,
campaign
no, no!
levels?
There's far more than 8 levels. There's 8 campaign levels, but there's more than. So first, let's have a look at our crew here. Now, the first thing you may notice is cartoon Britain, which this game seems to be set in, is a little more diverse than the RAF that you may remember in World War II. Not only do we have females in our bomber crew for some reason, we also have people from various nationalities. Which is, again, not quite how I remember the RAF, but I guess we just roll with that.
Are there any Germans?
don't know.
I just want to be maximum.
I should do that. I should make a bomber crew of German defectors or something.
That's a fantastic mustache on Red Walden.
Yeah. Keep calm.
So here's
So
our
is this our
bomber.
plane?
Yeah, well, we're going to make it ours. Firstly, let's set up the painter. You can actually play with this. Unlike the crew, Shabera noticed you cannot edit the crew, and I had to manually go in to the ini files and change everything so we didn't look like Captain Planet and the Planeteers. So, and even then, it was pretty rough, but we're going to be all wearing oxygen masks in about 3 missions anyway, so you're not going to see much of it. Alright, let's have a look at the... Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, can you paint the fuselage and all the other stuff on the plane?
You betcha. That's what we're going to do right now. As soon as I remember how to do it. Alright, here we go. Base paint. What should we go with? We've got dark... I always like the black here. You know, seeing the channel and everything.
Pimp my bomber.
Say again?
There's some green on there, so I like it. Oh, no, it's black now.
It's black. You can go there. Yeah, there's some pretty...
Oh, neon disco.
Neon...
That sounds like a, you know, bomber.
I don't know if I want to... For the very first... Oh, good lord.
Is that a clown plane?
Jeez.
Yeah, what is now? No, we let Naya pick the colours.
No, wait. I'm fine to settle with cat plane.
Cat plane?
That's an option.
Carefully.
Well, I don't know. There might be some good ones further down the line because I see that
you actually oddly, this game works kind of weird with the unlocking system. As you do missions, you get intelligence. Those unlock other things. So
you're copying the German style, which is apparently pumpkin spice and and other stuff. Oh, the turtle shell.
You gotta have that woodland camo for the sky trees. Ooh, shiny. Yeah, I'd probably go with the black suit myself.
I think we're gonna go with the black one there.
Is it gonna be a night mission?
Some of them are actually.
I would assume that the colors somewhat count, so I don't know what.
No, it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna go.
So you can be a flying clown mobile, and they can't see you.
Oh, you can.
They're more than usual, I guess.
Oh, flames.
There we go. That looks pretty metal. Go over that one.
What's the runner duck?
That's the developers that
no,
made this game. So there we go. Yeah, representing the channel. Okay, let's do it. Alright, so I think we got everything we're going to... Oh, actually, no. The other interesting thing about this game, for some reason you have to buy your own upgrades, because apparently the RAF is going through the economic crisis or something now. So we do have a
pay out of your own
little...
pocket.
We pretty much do. We get money for doing missions, and we can use that to throw things on our planes. Unfortunately, we don't have the intelligence to actually unlock anything. Well, sounds of it.
Can you send someone on kitchen duty for like pocket change?
I'm gonna throw you out over the English channel at this rate. Alright, let's go do our first mission.
Oh, you have weight management too?
Yes, that's an aspect we'll get to later.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
We throw Naya out first.
Sorry?
We throw Naya out first if you have to lose weight. We're fine. Alright, just like...
Now, for the first mission, we don't actually go straight to the campaign mission. We have to do a number of side missions that do sign a cycle through. So, like, if you see these, for instance, you can see them again later. They're sort of randomly generated to an extent. So this one, we're going to rescue some Spitfire pilots. This one, we're going to bomb a ammo dump. And as you can see, some of the missions actually have an effect. If you do this one, for instance, for the next 2 missions, the enemy will do less damage, which is really good. So you generally want those before you go do your campaign mission.
That's pretty good.
Well, let's go do this one. This is a fairly basic mission. And so fly there, drop some bombs, fly home. We can do that.
I do like those bonus perks.
So if you do say this one, will the other 2 be locked or unavailable?
I don't believe so. I think until we do the campaign mission, we can do anything there.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Is there a pigeon in the briefing?
Yes. In fact, eventually there will be a pigeon on our plane. That's probably one of the first upgrades.
I can hear the pigeon. I'm like, it's he being briefed?
Pigeon.
So you get paid in intel and monies.
So here's our bomber, as it be. So we've got people in various crew positions. Here right now, make the plane take off. Obviously, we have to select the pilot, which is the ever illustrious Red Walden.
Well, with a mustache like that, he can't lead us wrong.
Alright, so obviously to take off, we hit take off. Put our target altitude to low because our crew at the moment is fairly terrible. Let's see how much I remember how to play this game. Now, we don't actually control the plane directly. We essentially initiate orders, and the crew carry them out to the best of their ability. Again, to varying degrees of success.
Who's that in the rear gunner?
Rear gunner? Who I signed where? Let's have a look. Oh, that's one of our friends. All of these people are named after either friends of mine or World of Warcraft characters of ours, so we've got that. Look at our friend. Lost there is the only English friend I know, and it didn't seem right to have an English bomber game without him in it. So now, what we have to continually do, these are waypoints. We have to press spacebar to focus on them, and then lock onto them for a few seconds. This is a very important aspect because this is what we do when we go into fights as well. Our gunners will not shoot fighters until we lock them on, so to speak. Another interesting fact, if you World War II purists at home, our bomber has a radar, which didn't generally happen as far as I know for Lancasters. But there we go, we've got a radar and we can do all sorts of weird things with it later.
Huh. But I don't know anything about planes, so...
Our navigation's a little bit wonky. We seem to be all over the shop here, but again, we're pretty much a rookie raw crew, so...
Yeah, flying all over those homes.
Great, we just had a radar contact here, so what'll happen now is we'll have enemy fighters coming in. So what we have to do, we have to lock them on by focusing onto them, and as soon as we do that, our gunners will go, hey, there's an enemy fighter there, I will start shooting it. And surprisingly, they're doing a pretty good job. We've already shot down, I mean, fairly early on, they're sending some pretty terrible fighters at us, but doing pretty good here.
Oh no.
We've got an enemy ship shooting us as well.
Well, there you go, the rear gunner gets to shoot now.
And already we're very close to our bomb site here. And what I have to do is I have to move the bombardier down to the bomb site there. We have to open the doors. Fortunately, we might have to make a second run at the bomb site because we're very close to it and I have to lock onto some fighters or we won't. Good. Oh no, we can still do this. Alright, so we select all our bombs, doors open. And you can see the bomb site down there in the bottom right now. Fairly self-explanatory.
Yeah.
We just have to wait for the target to go under us and bombs away.
Do you drop them all at once, or...?
You can. Now, unfortunately, we just had an oxygen malfunction, which is something that happens every so often. Thankfully, we do have an engineer. Our Naya, our resident technical support, is also our engineer here today, so he'll be trying to fix things for us.
So I guess that is
Just
how.
casually stroll over there. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, the movement speed is a thing.
Well, as well as you're in a moving vehicle.
So what about the actual plane integrity? So if there's, say, damage done to the wings or the engines, is there a possibility to fix it?
To an extent, yes. And some of it is more ridiculous than you might imagine.
You can see we got some bullet holes in our left.
Oh, we'll be seeing plenty of bullet holes, I promise you. Okay, we've got the oxygen system back online. Not that we needed it, because we're actually flying at a low altitude. Now, as you can see, we're here. We're being attacked by fighters I haven't tagged yet. I think they were... Oh, no, they... Well, the game said we were being attacked by fighters I haven't tagged. I'm not actually seeing them, but... Oh, no, there he is. Get a very useful skill later that automatically does it for you every so often. It's kind of essential.
What, tags them for you?
Yeah, it's like a cooldown ability. What do we got here? Oh, the oxygen is malfunctioning yet again. Good job, no. Oh, no, sorry. These are the hydraulics. Something else has gone wrong.
There you go.
Hydraulics are bad because they completely freeze up your turrets, and you cannot operate many of the plane's systems until we get the hydraulics back online.
I would assume you wouldn't be able to turn properly.
Most of the bombers in the time were able, so I don't. Hydraulics they mainly affect things like the landing gear and things.
Gauge now?
There's a temperature gauge down. No, that's the hydraulics that are out at the moment. Temperatures are down the bottom. That's more of a thing when we start flying higher. Flying higher is a very useful thing. It lets you get around a lot of flak and a lot of fighters, but you need specific gear to do that. Otherwise, you freeze and don't have the oxygen.
Oh.
Alright, we're heading on back with the... Oh, there. Oh dear, we have a... Oh, no, I thought we had engine failure for a second. No, we're still going. Despite the interesting state, our... Oh, it looks like Naya actually got shot there. Taking a bit of damage.
Oh, I was gonna say, we're starting to look like Swiss cheese.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nothing. So, some of the missions have come back. Now, this is a very short mission.
Guys that have take some damage.
We're already back.
Well, that takes a nap. Okay.
Myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just throw yourself on the bed. You'll feel better. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of weird. It's some aspect that tries to stay true to form, and other times it's ridiculously cartoony. Wait till we start repairing the engines, but you'll see what I mean.
What position is Borley in? The radio?
Borley is the radio operator, which at the moment does a whole lot of nothing because we don't have any abilities for it, but it does have some very useful abilities later. Oh, the other main thing, the radio operator also works the radar. We're coming in for a landing.
No, I was looking earlier. Do you have to get out of the pilot seat to shoot the bombs?
No, that's the bombardier's job. The bombardier has to get out of the nose turret to shoot the... well, essentially he has to go down to a different compartment right under.
Oh, that's a nose. I thought that was a driver. That's a nose turret. Okay.
Yep. The driver. Now we're coming in for a landing. This is actually handled by the pilot skill and how fucked up our plane is.
So you
Let's
might
see
actually
how many of
just
us
die.
explode on contact.
Yeah, our plane's pretty good safe. We've got all our engines, we've got all our major systems going. We've only actually taken... Despite the appearance of the plane, we've actually only taken a slight amount of damage. Yeah, that's a pretty good landing right there. There's our first successful mission.
And touchdown.
So when you complete a mission, you get intelligence and money. The intelligence thing is something I'll show off a little bit more later after we get past the first mission, because there is optional little things you can do during the mission. The no slow bonus, there actually is like a bullet time ability, which I don't think I've ever used in my entire time I played this game. But yeah, I've actually done a full successful playthrough of it, but yeah.
If you get extra stuff for it and you don't really need it, I'd take it, yeah.
So, yep, plane gets repaired for free. And obviously if you get the bomber back to the base, you get more experience, you get more money. And the crew get experience for not dying, essentially. So as you can see, we got a few skills here.
Nope,
Nice.
someone put the kettle on for us.
Yep, well, it is England. In cartoon England, tea is way of life. So we can see we've got two skills here. Red Walden's line probably have a very useful skill called Emergency Dive, which is useful if we ever get fires in our engines, which I say ever, like we won't be doing that every mission. Naya's learned Boost here, which makes the plane consume more fuel but go quicker. It is useful here and there. There is a much more useful skill coming up later for him, which does the opposite effect, because skill management is a very important part of this game.
Actually, I was going to ask about that. I didn't notice much earlier.
Yeah, short missions like that, they're pretty much a non-issue, but we get much longer missions later on. Oh, you can see right there. The game is, yes, doing my job for me.
Is the number next to the symbol their level?
Yes. At the moment,
so everyone's level 2.
Yeah, at the moment, everyone's got one skill. We can cross-train people in other skills later, which will probably for Nio. We might make him a gunner, because we do have a... Actually, no, that's an interesting question.
Do you usually have someone else learn piloting as well?
It's a good idea. Only a few people can do it, though. Anyone can operate the plane at a basic level, so in the worst-case scenario, as long as we have someone in the pilot seat, it won't crash, per se, but landing's a different matter.
You want him up and running for your landing.
Alright, so we've got a few new toys to play with and throw in our plane here.
So, just out of curiosity, what happens if your plane gets so damaged that you can't land it, or...
We're going to have to cross that bridge when we get to it, because there is a whole lot of mechanics to do with that. We've got the whole survival thing, we've got, bailing out, which doesn't, in my experience, doesn't seem to work very often, but...
Oh, yeah. That would have been my next question. Can you actually eject and
eject? No, we're about 50.
Eject your seats.
We're about 30 or 40 years away from ejector seats here, reliable ones anyway. Yeah, the tail's obviously the important part, because that's where the enemy fighters will get the easiest shots off on. So we'll patch that up. Armor on the wings. Now, as you're noticing, so you'll see a few things there. There's armor. And there's weight. Weight is an important thing. If you look down the bottom left there, that's the maximum weight our plane can carry. We can actually do things about that, like putting better engines on the plane, which let us carry a higher takeoff weight. But everything costs weight, and...
so you can't go over 2,000, essentially?
At the moment, no. We can later on, though. Let's throw some... We'll save a bit of... we'll head on.
Is that 2,000 after the payload?
No, after the payload, yeah. So essentially we can have 2,000 whatever units that is of upgrades.
Old-timey weights.
Yeah, well, it's cartoon England, so I don't even know what version they use. Oh, a sub-hub. I'll do that later.
It's 2,000 Shepherd's pie weight.
I think at the moment we're going to go save our Brave Fighter buddies, which we can actually get as friends later on. Yeah, in cartoon England, we send our bombers out one at a time and with no fighter escort. And a little bit different to how you may remember, but we can change.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't get any allies helping you on missions or anything?
Like I said, later on we can. One of the radio operator skills can call in air support to help them out. They're actually very useful, but it's a ways away. So,
all I can hear is a pigeon. That's all I hear.
Here's an interesting... I don't know if I want to do this right now. Might be a little bit painful if we shoot this off the bat here. There is an enemy ace in the area, so our next mission... Oh, he's not. He's only over the Spitfires. Oh. I don't want to leave our boys in the drink, but at the same time, I'm really not wild to get shot by an enemy ace, but I think we might have to. Oh. Fortune favors the bold.
That doesn't sound very good to me. We'll see.
Yeah, for our second mission, we've already got an enemy ace, which is a little unusual. I've never seen.
I mean, are they really good, or are they just harder to kill?
You're gonna see in a minute. Yeah, first navigation waypoint. Shouldn't be too hard to find.
I kind of like that focusing mechanic.
It's interesting. It gets very hectic later on when you're trying to do a lot of things.
Yeah, I imagine you have to manage it a lot. So.
Fortunately, well...
Some weird beaking noises.
So as I said, the enemy ace pilot, Felix Feeder, is active in the area, so we're probably going to bump into him sooner or later. Yeah, it's got the whole Star Fox 64 style.
That's what I was trying to think of. Like, it reminded me of something. I can't think what it was, though. I was going to say The Sims, but that's not quite it.
We're going to put Naya right, since we've got nothing to fix right now, we're going to put Naya right away on the ventral gun, so we have another gun shooting.
So the ventral guns, can that which directions? Is it any direction or
any direction?
Only forward.
Down. It's a turret area. It can turn. It's just going to shoot down.
Well, yeah, but you say I don't know how flexible these turrets are. I would imagine you can shoot a little more.
As long as the hydraulics are going, they can turn just fine.
So it's full like 360 around itself.
Yeah,
but not down.
Well,
or up, obviously, because you don't want to be shooting into your hull.
Fuselage.
Which hull is a boat.
Yes, we're not in a boat.
I know a little more about boats than I do ships, but
I know a little more about boats than I do ships. What? You mean airplanes?
Which I messed it up already.
This is why you're the navigator, Neri. Not in charge of actually any mechanics.
I can sit there, but I'll probably be drawing things instead of navigating.
Oh dear. He's already on us.
The ace has already spotted us.
Sounds like it. And there's our... Oh, he's coming on his own. This could be interesting. Alright. Unfortunately, we've immediately got to put ourselves...
Nope. Here comes the Final Fantasy battle music.
To an extent. Alright, so that's what we have to do. We have to drop some supplies to our downed pilots and hopefully they survive long enough to get rescued. But at the moment, we get a little bit
of the water.
Kicking his ass right there. Got a really good spoon. We might actually get him here. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to make a break for it, and then we don't have anyone in the front turret because he's manning the bomb bay at the moment.
Oh, you almost got him.
Yeah. Fortunately, he's going to back off and pull his friends in, I think. Get more on the radar there.
Sun's already running low on ammo.
That's just the current belt. The ammunition's actually... Did we get it? We did actually get it close enough. Good. It's a little bit off there, but not too bad. Coming back in the front turret, and we're getting the heck out of Dodge here.
With the dropping the supplies, how close do you have to be? Or bombs?
Relatively. You're not dropping bombs there. You were dropping supplies to a down pilot.
Well, the supplies, I was just using... Like, I'm sure they're similar.
I mean, it depends on the type of bomb, and it depends on how many you drop at once. You can't actually control how many you drop at once.
I mean, I know because you're moving. If you drop it, like your crosshair or whatever was right on top of it, will it drop right on it? Or because you're moving, is it going to drop a little differently?
A little bit. Depends on the altitude as well. If you're a little bit higher up, it gets a lot harder to land the...
Okay.
Oh dear, I think that's the electronics going out.
When your gun turns is low.
I thought we had electronics issue, but no, we're still in this. We're having to clear the area of fighters, so rescue crews can come in. Again, not quite the thing that bombers are usually used for, but Cartoon England's an interesting place. We have cleared the area of the fighters. We didn't actually shoot down the ace, unfortunately. He did get away from us, but... so yeah, we'll be seeing him again. Plane's a bit battered, but otherwise we're pretty good stead. No one's got any major injuries.
So if you shoot down the ace, will that grant you like a bonus reward?
Yes, it does give you quite. There is actually like a bounty board in the
okay.
The briefing office.
So did we get the ace? I wasn't sure if we did or not.
We drove him off. Unfortunately, we didn't shoot him down. They are smart enough to pull away once you do enough damage, and there are certain things you can try and do later to try and shoot them down with some interesting gadgets. But
so we'll probably see him again then.
Oh, definitely. Just flying back now. Shouldn't be too long. We can actually speed up time here. We do have a little.
So we're returning to base now?
Yep. Oh, we got... Oh dear, this could be a problem. Oh, that's our oxygen. We don't need that. We're fine. We are low enough not to have to worry about our oxygen. It's going to make a rather light bang in just a moment. As such. The components have reliability. You can get better components later, which should malfunction less often. Not a huge problem at the moment though, because we're only operating at low altitude. We only really have to worry about oxygen when we operate at high altitude, which might be for a bit because it requires quite specific gear for the crew to be able to survive at that altitude. Could be a cakewalk landing, but we'll see how we go. Anything's been shot off the plane. What are our rudders, got our ailerons, our elevators. Both landing gear is intact. That's another issue you have to come across quite often. Fighters love shooting your landing gear out. Oh, bit of a slightly rough landing, but too bad.
Yeah, we all made it home safe though. Now I got a little hurt inside the gray smoke.
Unfortunately, he did get away.
But this plane slow down fast once you land.
Yep.
Interesting game. I might have to get this one myself.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Based on just looking at it before, I was like, I don't know if I like, but watching it actually play, I'm like, yeah, it might be fun.
Yeah, we've got some new, with the intelligence that we got for that last mission, we unlocked some new abilities and, some new upgrades. Better gun, the most important upgrade. Oh.
Better mustaches.
Burb.
Yes, no, I was correct. We're going to put the most important crew member in our plane now. The homing pigeon. Now you're probably wondering, what the devil does a homing pigeon do?
You can send messages?
Yes, if you look to your right there is actually a survival meter. So when the plane gets shot down, it actually does like a skill check, or like an RNG sort of check. And depending on how much survival gear you have, on various situations, where you got shot down, how close the crew landed to the bomber, that's their chance of being recovered. Now, this game is kind of a roguelite. If we don't instantly quit the game when something happens,
it autosaves.
Yeah, it autosaves. So yes, we can fight it. There is permadeath. There's all sorts of other things. So this happy little fellow will increase our chances. So if we do, if we inevitably get shot down, this little fellow will actually send a message and hopefully save some crew members. Plus, he's a pigeon. So he's an awesome pigeon, so we're going to have to put him...
He's an awesome... pigeon weighs 10 pounds. Fat pigeon.
Yeah, he's got all his stuff on board.
Yeah, a little box and maybe food, water.
Stop trying to counter my pigeon shaming.